Please welcome Steve Eck.
All right, welcome everybody. Who's ready to talk about a little bit of digital manufacturing? Wow, okay. John Gretter, Managing Director of the Mill Products vertical with Delaware. I'm really excited to be joined today by Steve Eck with Hallmark. This is actually Steve and I's Sapphire anniversary. We started this endeavor a year ago at last year's Sapphire. So for all of you that are wondering, one of my favorite things about DM is a quick return on investment. You can start a DM project and see that return on investment very quickly, as is proof by, we just started the discussion about this a little over a year, or just a little under a year ago. So when you think about where we're going and what we're doing with this, Hallmark and buzzword out in everywhere you look on the news is we want to bring manufacturing back to the United States. We want to keep everything as close to home as possible. Hallmark's been doing that since its inception. And Steve, it'd be great for the audience to know a little bit about what makes you so proud and excited about your tenure and your history with Hallmark.
Yep, happy to do it. Steve Eck, Vice President, Manufacturing and Distribution. Been with Hallmark for 25 years, so I'm honored to kind of represent Hallmark and share the stage with John in Delaware. So a little bit about Hallmark. Our belief is that we can change the world by ultimately creating a more emotionally connected lives every day. What a great company to work for that has that as a mission. Feels really good. John talked about innovation. We started in 1910. By J.C. Hall, who was a young entrepreneur, 18, and had a shoebox of postcards that started this company. And we are still family owned and privately held today. Our company's headquartered in Kansas City. We've got 20,000 worldwide employees. We have product in over 100,000 rooftops across the world. Amazing. A wide variety of portfolio. We have the Hallmark product, Hallmark cards that we know, the birthday cards, the gift wrap. We also have Hallmark Media, Hallmark Channel, a Hallmark Plus platform that is new, as well as Crayola. So we have a diverse portfolio. We have had to, being a company that's lasted for 115 years, we've had to innovate. We have to innovate how we show up to these consumers. How do we help them stay connected in these lives? What I want to talk a little bit about now is also our innovation within our manufacturing. We manufacture over 75% of our products in the US. That is fairly important these days, as we all know, but that is not a guarantee. We've had to innovate in order to be able to do that, to remain this competitive advantage for us to allow this product to be made in the US.
And really what it came down to at Sapphire last year, when Steve and I and the Hallmark team started discussing the digital manufacturing initiative, one of the buzzwords was efficiency. We talked a lot about efficiency, and that's where we're going to take the conversation next. And it was at those core of the challenges that Hallmark was facing. You've done an amazing job with internal efficiency gains. But when we started talking about what digital manufacturing, SAP's digital manufacturing could do for Hallmark, it's how do they take it to that next step to ensure that those gains keep progressing and keep Hallmark driving forward from that transformation. And transformation is, again, a buzzword. We hear it all the time in this environment, this ecosystem, but really what you're doing at Hallmark with digital manufacturing is a transformation. You're literally changing the shop floor, and those challenges that you faced and are facing, that lack of real-time data, and that data, if you don't take away anything else from today's presentation, take this away. SAP Digital Manufacturing and DM4Mill by Delaware, that is your foundational way to take the data from the shop floor and communicate it to the top floor. If you don't take out anything else from today, look at DM, digital manufacturing, that MES layer, as your foundation that you're going to build upon as you go up and up and up in your environment. That shop floor reliance on manual processes, how often have you probably already heard that at Sapphire? We're relying on spreadsheets, or we're reliant on doing it this way, is tribal knowledge. Well, Hallmark has seen that as a tremendous opportunity to drive that efficiency and that limited visibility, maybe even sometimes not really any visibility into reporting and analytics. What do you want to add on top of that, Steve?
Yeah,
from a Hallmark
I've talked
perspective?
about our innovation to remain competitive advantage, be able to produce this product. We've innovated in technology, we've innovated in buying equipment, but yet you look at these challenges, we just don't have the data we need to kind of take that next level, right? We got to do more. The company's asking us to do more. What can we do more? When you look and assess where we're at, we're an SAP ECC shop, but we just don't have the MES, we don't have the detailed data for us to take steps forward. We don't have data to help managers make decisions. We also aren't able to manage our performance of our employees as granular as what we want. So when I think about this effort, this is really an investment in our people.
Yeah.
So it allows us to have better data so we can manage our people, and our managers can help manage these people much better.
And when you think about that ability to manage the people, that's the core of what we're doing right now in the first phase of this project. It's around labor tracking. So one of those core tenets of digital manufacturing is the ability to track the efficiency on the shop floor. And what you're doing, and one of the things I'm most excited about and really proud of the partnership, you're using this project as a way to incentivize the shop floor workers through their efficiency to gain money, basically, and
The opportunity is there. Yep.
Cold hard cash, and
Yep.
that's a heck of a motivator. But without that visibility, that near to real-time visibility of the data and connecting the shop floor to the top floor, it was impossible to do that. So when we started this, the challenge you came to Delaware with, help us put this first phase in, and we do this first phase effectively, then that builds the investment and the confidence to continue layering on the next steps in DM and DM4Mill by Delaware. So when you look at those objectives, we talked about labor tracking a little bit. Some of those other ones, Steve, the optimization of labor, qualify data, the ability to compare shifts. That ability to compare shifts, I know, is something really near and dear to your heart in the manufacturing space.
Yeah. I believe we get what we measure, right? We all actually like to be measured. Who plays sports without actually keeping score? How well you do if you're not keeping score? The same concept is on the manufacturing floor. How do we provide data to people to make sure that they are doing the best that they can? We understand then if there's opportunities to improve them via training, but really ultimately, as John said, how do we incent them? With that, you have to have really granular data, right? We've got to make sure that we've got standards that are fair. We've got to make sure they apply across shifts, even across different manufacturing facilities. So the data that we do not have is really important. So if you take a step back, John said we came here a year ago looking for a solution. And so we came and listened to all the talks about digital manufacturing. And then lo and behold, we met John. Because I'm so planful, John, and I think ahead, this is our 1-year anniversary, and we are a card company, so I do think it is actually appropriate to anniversary card from Hallmark to Delaware. So I thought that might be
Very
appropriate
good
for you.
Very good. I'm so happy you remember.
Yes, yeah. Hopefully my wife doesn't watch this.
And I will say it is Hallmark too.
Yes,
I will verify Hallmark.
But if you think about this investment that we've kind of made within this year and kind of where we are, you've referenced ROI. We have, I've said we've invested in technology and equipment. We all know how expensive that can get. This investment is a good return on investment because it impacts every person within our manufacturing facility. It impacts our managers, and we feel really good and confident where we are in this project that this return is going to be something that we are just going to be extremely proud of.
Well, and something that's really rewarding as Hallmark's partner in this, when we're walking the shop floor with Steve and his peers, you'll actually encounter the folks on the shop floor saying, so remind us when this go live is. Is it coming soon? Because they want this project to go into place because they want the incentive piece to be realized. So it's really an organization that's rallied around a project, rallied around an initiative, because there's buy-in at all levels of the environment and all values of the company. So it's really, really, to me, something that Hallmark should be proud of, that you have that buy-in from all levels.
Yeah.
When you look at the solution itself, and we'll dive into this in a little bit more detail in the next slide, but for Delaware and our specific relationship with SAP, we are the approved co-innovation partner of SAP's in the digital manufacturing space in Mills. And when you hear Mills, you might say, well, what does that mean? I don't understand what Mills is or what that comprises of. For Delaware's expertise, we are really deep in the areas of paper, plastic, metals, cable and wire, and building products, or even more so, I'll peel that one back a little bit more, it's the flooring industry is where we're good at. And what we've done with SAP, and this was actually also announced last year at Sapphire, we entered into a co-innovation agreement with SAP, and that is what has spawned DM4Mill by Delaware. And what that entails to our customers and the people we're working with, we have addressed and continue to address the white space or the gaps that are specific to the customers that reside in those sub-verticals. So it significantly reduces the need for customization, custom code, which you hear all the time from SAP and partners alike. You want to try to stay away from those things. And that's what shows up on the slide that we have right there from a solution standpoint. What we're doing specifically with Hallmark and any other customer that we would go down this path with is we codify or we join what SAP brings to the table in core DM, that quality control, the integrated cloud MES and analytics that we've already talked about, real-time monitoring. That, and again, I cannot overstate the importance of that real-time nature of it, connecting the shop floor and the top floor. The BTP for operational integration, this is built on BTP. Intelligent factory, which is the big step that we're going to be going in future iterations of the project at Hallmark. And then the DM4Mill part of it, this is the secret sauce for the Mills industry, traceability, and not just traceability, enhanced traceability. So if you find yourself in any of the regulated mill products industries where you're doing anything with the Food and Drug Administration, for example, and you have to have traceability all the way back to the inception of your product, DM4Mill by Delaware adds that layer into the solution. Another thing that is super important to our customers, the combination of orders or the ability to combine orders. That's something that DM4Mill by Delaware has. And a couple other things I'll touch on real quickly. The ability to manage scrap handling, and find those ways to minimize scrap. And we talked about the shop floor users. We take a lot of pride in simplifying the solution for the folks that are using it day in and day out. Because we know for a solution to be its most impactful, needs to be easy to use. So we're working every day to limit the clicks, limit the amount of engagement that they have to have with the tool itself, because then they'll use it at a higher level. The data is more reliable, yep. And it just makes the whole thing go.
All steps along, making sure it's the user interface for employees inputting their production, making sure the reports are robust for the managers, but somewhat simple that they know it's tracking. All of it we are accomplishing with this project.
Yep. So the benefits, the what's in it from the customer perspective. I mean, we've talked about ROI, but there's other things that go into a project being successful or an initiative being successful, along with ROI. That increased efficiency through the labor tracking, the digital manufacturing to eliminate manual processes. We haven't really talked a lot about the reduction of manual processes. That is something I know when we did our first shop floor tour at Hallmark, you had mentioned to us, Steve, these are things that we need to address in future states. What can you share with the audience about the reduction of the manual processes?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of benefits to the business, obviously, talk increased efficiency, but the ability to have everything digital is huge for us to make sure that we just aren't wasting paperwork and steps and time and losing things. We are taking one step at a time, but we can see that the site, once we get this live, there's just a huge opportunity to make things simple, but not overwhelmed to try to do everything at once. And so there's definite benefits. If you think about this project, hopefully you can understand the improved productivity. That obviously is huge from a manufacturing facility. That's going to increase our capacity. That ability will help us bring more products to the US, which is obviously important as I talk about. There is an element of this that we believe employee morale will be improved. Like I said, we actually like getting measured. We want to show improvement. We want to work on improvements. And if we are better than our peers, better than other shifts, we want to earn something for that as well. And so you combine increased productivity with an increased morale, huge things can happen. SAP talked about their flywheel, but if you think about within a manufacturing, you combine those things with then better data to make problems, better problem solving with our managers. This thing can continue, and we're super excited about it.
And something else we didn't touch on, and it takes me back, about Hallmark, they do just about all of their manufacturing right in the middle of the United States in the heartland, which is amazing. 2 factories producing just about all of your North American output in 1 distribution center.
Yep, we do 75% of our greeting cards in our Lawrence, Kansas facility. We do 100% of our gift wrap in our Leavenworth, Kansas facility. And we ship all that to Liberty, Missouri, where we ship to all of those rooftops out of that facility. So, and we're making sure then all 3 of these facilities are operating similarly. We have different systems in distribution, but we want to make sure from a management perspective, we are pushing Delaware and SAP to make sure that, how are we making sure that we are performing consistent across all of these 3 facilities, because that's also equally important, and it's been a good project to make sure that that is enabled.
So when you think about Delaware, for any of you that are wondering a little bit more about Delaware as a partner in the ecosystem, I invite you to scan the QR code. It'll take you directly to our landing page where you can learn more about us. Even more so than that, because we are at Sapphire, and if any of you have questions around what Steve and I have covered, you want to learn more, want to find out how you can follow up with us, Steve, I will be heading to our booth number 300. On the premier sponsor row, we are the first booth as you come down the escalators. So almost straight through this way, Steve and I will be going over there next. We'd love to hear any questions, any comments that you have. And we're really excited about next year being able to come back to Sapphire and update you on where the project is and what the next steps are in that project. So Steve, thank you very much. I look forward to our next Sapphire-versary next year. I appreciate the card.
I'll get another card next
there
year.
You go.
Yeah,
I know you know where to find one. But I appreciate everybody's time today. Have a great rest of your Sapphire. And again, come and see us at booth number 300. We'd love to talk to you about digital manufacturing and DM4Mill by Delaware. Have a good day.
Thank you.